This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or a device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.
CJ Used Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances have the best prices in town, sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'm telling you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances. T-Graphics Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all. Color copies, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamps, full-color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30-plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. T-Graphics Printing.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Pedestrian safety is a two-way street. Both drivers and walkers need to do their part to keep roads safe. When you're walking, remember, the drivers may not always see you, so remember to use these tips to continue to walk safely. Wear bright clothes. Always use crosswalks and obey signs. Lights and reflectors should be used. And finally, keep alert and do not walk distracted. This message brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
C&S Motors Auto Sales, located at 2508 Summer Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-323-8778. C&S Motors Auto Sales has been around since 1984. Go by and see Chris today for some of the best pre-owned and used vehicles in the city. They have SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, whatever you're looking for in pre-owned used vehicles. Hey, you can find it right there at C&S Motors Auto Sales. See Chris since 1984. They will treat you right. Call them at 901-323-8778. That's 901-323-8778. 2508 Summer Avenue, C&S Motors Auto Sales. CJ Used Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances have the best prices in town, sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'm telling you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances. Then they can watch us on Facebook Live.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. Leave comments and all that. We would appreciate that. Or they can call us at 901-213-6020. All right. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Bob. Good morning, everybody out there listening, watching, and tuning in and all that stuff. This morning, another great show we got lined up for you today on this Thursday morning, which is our Friday. So you know we're going to come with it on today. A lot of great stuff to talk about, as Bob already laid out for you, man. So, real quick, if you want to do so, we recommend that you do. Follow us on social media. First of all, follow us on Twitter at TalkBackLive. That's one word, at TalkBackLive. Also, Facebook, Facebook.com, TalkBackLive with Bob and Josh. Like our Facebook page, check us out there. As well as Talkback Live Network on Facebook and WTBL Talkback Live Network Facebook pages. We are live on all three of those. Also, guys, be sure you support the show. Share this video on your profile. If you want to start a watch party on your profile, do that as well. And spread the message about Talkback Live in the morning right here, man. So, without any further ado, Bob, I know we got a lot to get into. I guess one could say.
All right, and thanks for you guys coming in already, Jay, and yeah, we already know who it is, Brodell, Kelly, and people continue to come in.
GKP.
And, yes.
I saw Dominic. Yeah.
And so we appreciate that. Those that are still coming in. Hey, let's, Josh, let's get it on.
Let's get it cracking.
And in the headlines today, we've got we've got several things that can be considered our headline story.
Oh, yeah.
But we do have a headline story. But, well, all of these stories are headline today. I mean, wow. What a headline is today we have here on the show. And we can talk anywhere from Texas to Tennessee to Arkansas to California. Oh, shit. Well, let's talk about Josh, we have a story to start off the day with that's coming out of Texas. Death row inmate in Texas is scheduled to be executed in 2 weeks. Is he guilty?
Yeah.
That's the question.
That's the question.
Is he guilty? And the thing about it is, how can you put somebody on death row not knowing for sure if they're guilty? And we've talked about this many a times.
Absolutely.
How they can, if you know somebody's pulled the trigger, you know, hey.
Why wait?
Why wait?
Yeah.
Spend all that money. They did it. You're going to put them on death row for 30 years. That's, But anyway.
Yeah.
There's a guy on death row in Texas that, well, most people don't think he did it. And he said, what's going on with this story?
Crazy story out of Texas. So, man, I know a lot of people may have heard about this, but this is really kind of taken off over the last few days and weeks. It's a man in Texas. He's been interviewed by Dr. Phil. Multiple other celebrities are supporting him, as well as politicians from both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats, saying, hey.
Is Dr. Phil supporting him, or he just interviewed him?
Well, I from what they say, well, the video will let us know. The video's going to
the audio will let us know. Okay.
I know he interviewed him, and I know they say he's supporting him. So,
okay.
Willing to put his story out there, because you don't do this for every death row inmate.
Yeah.
One would assume. So, hey, but we'll see, man. It's going to be interesting, and there is some very compelling evidence to the contrary of him actually doing it. And some people in Texas don't want to retry the case, but we're going to get into it, man. We're going to play this story, and we want to hear, what do you think about it? Do you think he's guilty? Do you think he's innocent? Or do you think this case at least deserves another try in court?
All right. Well, I tell you what, folks, if you're ready, Josh, and once he pulls it up, we're going to take a listen to this story, or take a look, and whichever way you're listening to us, and tell us what you think. And phone calls will be accepted as well, if you can, 901-213-6020, and you can leave a message as well on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
And Josh, ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's take a listen to this, folks. We'll be back.
A death row inmate in Texas faces execution in just 2 weeks unless a celebrity-backed campaign can persuade the governor to intervene. Rodney Reed was found guilty in the 1996 rape and murder of 19-year-old Stacey Stites, but his attorney claims new witness statements and forensic evidence clear Reed. Omar Villafranca in Austin, Texas. Omar, this case has received national and even international attention.
Good morning. You're right. And here at the Capitol, Republicans and Democrats don't see eye to eye on much. But a bipartisan group of lawmakers agree Rodney Reed's case needs to be considered again. And along with celebrities, they're asking Texas Governor Greg Abbott to pause the execution and consider new evidence.
Did you rape Stacey Stites?
No, I didn't.
Did you murder Stacey Stites?
No, I didn't.
Talk show host Dr. Phil conducted a jailhouse interview with Rodney Reed that aired last month. He is just one of a number of celebrities, including Kim Kardashian West, Seth Green, and Rihanna, who tweeted at Texas Governor Greg Abbott to pardon Reed or commute his sentence.
I believe the people, the family, the other supporters support the truth.
Prosecutors claim Stacey Stites was at home in 1996 with her fiancé Jimmy Finnell, a former police officer, before driving herself to work around 3 a.m. Investigators said Reed raped and strangled Stites between 3 and 5 a.m. and left her body in a... Reed was arrested after his DNA was found on Stites. From the beginning, he maintained his innocence. He claimed he and Stites were having an affair and had consensual sex the day before her death.
How many times did you two see each other?
Some weeks I would see her maybe once or twice a week.
After the trial, forensic experts admitted to errors in the time of death, and the advocacy group The Innocence Project says the murder weapon was never tested for DNA.
3 forensic pathologists have come forward and said that this is actually impossible that Rodney committed the crime. All of it exonerates Mr. Reed and points to Jimmy Finnell.
Finnell was initially a suspect in Stites' murder, but his DNA was not found on Stites' body. His attorney, Bob Phillips, says his client is innocent.
Jimmy loved her. He was going to marry her in 3 weeks.
Finnell later served 10 years in prison for unrelated kidnapping and improper sexual contact in 2007.
He pled guilty, did his time. He's now out of prison.
Now, an inmate named Arthur Snow, who was incarcerated with Finnell and was a former member of the Aryan Brotherhood, is coming to Reed's defense. He claims Finnell confessed to killing Stites because she was, quote, sleeping with a black man behind his back. Finnell's attorney says Snow's story is fiction. Reed's brother, Roderick, told CBS This Morning this new evidence is enough to save his brother's life.
There's been testimony from people who are in prison. Do you think that needs to be brought in this case now?
That testimony from Mr. Snow needs to be brought in. All avenues need to be traveled in order to get to the truth, to get justice for Stacey Stites and my brother Rodney Reed.
We reached out to Governor Abbott's office but have not heard back. As for Roderick, he plans to travel to Washington, D.C. next week because the U.S. Supreme Court is expected to hear his brother's appeal. But time is running out because the execution date is still November 20th. Tony?
Oh, wow, Omar, that's coming up quickly.
Yeah, talk about the clock ticking. At the very least, why can't there be a pause so you get to at least consider all this new evidence?
But there's some pretty compelling evidence.
More to come on this story for sure.
All right, Omar, thank you very much.
All right, what do you think, folks? Wow, November 20th is when they're scheduled to execute him. Well, I mean, you know, they knew this was coming up November 20th. Why didn't we hear about this before now?
Makes you wonder.
You know, why didn't you know, people start doing the story or this guy start to say he was innocent, and you know, and then the news reported, and you know, why didn't and then all these people on his side now? Why didn't I don't understand. Yeah, why they wait so late to start this? You know, but
look, to your point, I think that's a good question. But now, and to be fair, he has been contesting this for a while. Okay. Now, I guess the only way I could figure is that a lot of these folks, celebrities and politicians or whatever, just got wind of this whole thing. maybe people that look into that whole thing or whatever the case may be. And then more people started jumping on the bandwagon. It's like, hey, I didn't know this was going on. Looking at the evidence, it doesn't look like the right thing to do to execute this guy at this time. And I think, personally, I see no reason for them to go and rush to execute him now. You got all this evidence to the contrary that could at least could be considered a trial in this situation.
Yeah.
I don't see why you would want to rush to execute him unless it's just the pride of not wanting to lose. Because you talk about the district attorney in that situation, which you heard from in the story,
right,
saying, I don't think it's, I think it'll be a travesty of justice if this goes back to court again. I think that's a joke.
Okay.
I think that's pathetic.
So
I think that's pathetic of him to want to do that. I mean, why would it be a travesty of justice?
Well, unless he wants to see this man killed. Unless he
ridiculous.
Don't want to hear the truth about it, and then this black man get off and this white man end up getting killed. And I don't think it's about race. We have a person that's killed here, murdered.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need to find out exactly who did it.
Yeah,
and the evidence is pointing toward I don't remember the guy's name, the white guy's name, but he was dating her, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I don't know if they said they were married or what. They were in a relationship,
but
lived together.
But he was angry when he found out that she had sex with a black man behind his back.
That's what they're saying.
So
that's kind of the defense.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, the guy was, and even more compelling than that to me, was the fact that this guy was in prison already.
Yeah. And
a prison mate went to the police and said, hey, this guy just confessed to a murder.
Okay, so which one, the black guy or the white guy?
Well, not the black guy, because that would mean, because I believe the black guy, so it's not him.
Okay,
it's the other guy. Yeah.
No, I was just thinking that the black guy may have said something privately to someone in prison. Okay, but the white guy did.
Yeah, the white guy. Mm-hmm.
So he told someone that he did do he murdered the lady.
Yes, and that's why this has even come up again, because the prisoner, he went forward and said, hey, I heard this guy confess to this murder.
Yeah.
Why would another prisoner put his neck on the line? Situation he doesn't know anything about and lie.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And he don't even know about the situation. So all I'm just saying is, man, it's bogus.
Yeah, well, I mean, but he was dating the girl.
Mm-hmm.
He had sex the day prior to her murder.
The black guy.
The black guy did. Mm-hmm. That is pretty close to me.
Well, close to what?
Like, I mean, a day before the murder?
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
that don't mean nothing.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, anyway, folks, what do you think? 901-213-6020. Leave your comments on Facebook. I don't know what to think about this, really. I know the evidence is overwhelmingly there's overwhelming evidence against we need to get that white guy's name so we can start calling white and black.
Yeah.
But anyway.
True,
But the white guy, there's overwhelming evidence against the white guy here. I mean, but this thing is supposed to go to the Supreme Court, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Supreme Court is going to hear it. Will they be able to?
Now, and to be clear, now you said the Supreme Court. We don't know. That's what they're appealing to. I mean, he's supposed to be executed in 2 weeks. Okay. So as of right now, ain't going to be no court about nothing because they have him scheduled to be executed. Now they're appealing. That's the whole point of this thing. They're trying to stop it from happening.
Right.
To get the courts interested enough and say, hey, look, there's enough evidence here to at least say, hey, we need to retry this case. There's new evidence since the trial.
Well, you would think they would want to do that. They wouldn't want to kill the wrong person.
That's all I'm saying.
But, why the district attorney is so against this, man, that is really, that's crazy to me. That the district attorney wouldn't want to have the right person executed.
I agree.
For the killing.
I agree.
Now, go ahead.
And I want to do again. There's a couple people just coming in that want to hear some more details. I know only the story can tell all those details.
Yeah, the death row inmate out of Texas.
Yes,
is supposed to be executed in 2 weeks. Is he guilty? That's our question.
Yes, yeah. And I want to play it again real quick if we can, and we'll be right back.
Take a listen to this, folks.
Just 2 weeks, unless a celebrity-backed campaign can persuade the governor to intervene. Rodney Reed was found guilty in the 1996 rape and murder of 19-year-old Stacey Stites, but his attorney claims new witness statements and forensic evidence clear Reed. Omar Villafranca is at the state capitol in Austin, Texas. Omar, this case has received national and even international attention.
Good morning. You're right. And here at the Capitol, Republicans and Democrats don't see eye to eye on much. But a bipartisan group of lawmakers agree Rodney Reed's case needs to be considered again. And along with celebrities, they're asking Texas Governor Greg Abbott to pause.
Stites.
No, I didn't.
Did you murder Stacey Stites?
No, I didn't.
Talk show host Dr. Phil conducted a jailhouse interview with Rodney Reed last month. He is just one of a number of celebrities, including Kim Kardashian West, Seth Green, and Rihanna, who tweeted at Texas Governor Greg Abbott to read or commute his sentence.
I believe the people, the family, the other supporters support the truth.
Prosecutors claimed Stacey Stites was at home in 1996 with her fiancé Jimmy Fennell, a former police officer, before driving herself to work around 3 a.m. Investigators said Reed raped and strangled Stites between 3 and 5 a.m. and left her body in a remote area. Reed was arrested after his DNA was found on Stites. From the beginning, he maintained his innocence. He claimed he and Stites were having an affair and had consensual sex the day before her death.
How many times did you two see each other?
Some weeks I would see her maybe once or twice a week.
After the trial, forensic experts admitted to errors in the time of death, and the advocacy group The Innocence Project says the murder weapon was never tested for DNA.
3 forensic pathologists have come forward and said that this is actually impossible that Rodney committed the crime. All of it exonerates Mr. Reed and points to Jimmy Fennell.
Fennell was initially a suspect in Stites' murder, but his DNA was not found on Stites' body. His attorney, Bob Phillips, says his client is innocent.
Jimmy loved her. He was going to marry her in 3 weeks.
Fennell later served 10 years in prison for unrelated kidnapping and improper sexual contact in 2007.
He pled guilty, did his time. He's now out of prison.
Now, an inmate named Arthur Snow, who was incarcerated with Fennell and was a former member of the Aryan Brotherhood, is coming to Reed's defense. He claims Fennell confessed to killing Stites because she was, quote, sleeping with a black man behind his back. Fennell's attorney says Snow's story is fiction. Reed's brother, Roderick, told CBS this morning this new evidence is enough to save his brother's life.
There's been testimony from people who are in prison. Do you think that needs to be brought in this case now?
That testimony from Mr. Snow needs to be brought in. All avenues need to be traveled in order to get to the truth, to get justice for Stacey Stites and my brother Rodney Reed.
We've reached out to Governor Abbott's office but have not heard back. As for Roderick, he plans to travel to Washington, D.C. next week because the U.S. Supreme Court is expected to hear his brother's appeal. But time is running out because the execution date is still November. Tony?
Oh, wow, Omar, that's coming up quickly.
Talk about the clock ticking. At the very least, why can't there be a pause so you can consider all this new evidence?
But some pretty compelling evidence.
More to come on this story for sure.
All right, Omar, thank you very much.
Well, that's my question. Why can't they just halt everything, Josh, until they find out? But the attorney doesn't seem that that's what he's wanting. So what do you think, folks, after hearing the story and the situation in Texas?
Absolutely. Got a few comments here. I can go through if you want to.
Yeah.
But you don't want
well, you know, why don't they do a lie detector then?
Yeah, that too, right?
I mean,
there's a lot of avenues coming.
The guy said he didn't do it.
Yeah.
So, and they're concerned, well, we don't believe him. Why don't you do a lie detector test?
Yeah.
Dr. Phil asked questions. He asked the guy, did he do it and all this kind of stuff. And, Dr. Phil is known for doing lie detector tests. So, on his show, I haven't seen his show in a while.
Yeah.
But why didn't they do a lie detector test? Or why don't they? If he's claiming he's innocent and then do one on the other guy. I don't know. Maybe they're overlooking some things here that they should do. I don't know if they really wanted to really, solve this case. But go ahead, Josh. Read some of the comments.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of good points you bring up there. Let's see what we got coming in. First of all, GKP says, whoa, Bob. Showing that red cup early.
Yeah.
Ain't you?
Yeah, with my top on it, too.
Verdell says, you have to stop this and examine the evidence. So you have to. So I agree. Another comment says this one, but he's come in and says, I'm just tuning in. So he doesn't have the details. He said, I'd like to hear the evidence that he was convicted of. The trial wasn't a hung jury. It was a conviction. He put a comment after that, so. Then GKP says, you all already know what's going on, Bob. So I guess he has a theory. Well, let us know, GKP.
Let us know. What's going on?
What you got going on?
You would like to hear your mind.
Yeah. And it's good morning.
You see Jet's story? Jet comments? Okay. He says the fact that the wife had none of her husband's DNA on her is strange.
Yes.
Dead giveaway. It's your wife. You're going to have hair, something from shared
sheets,
etc. Unless you deliberately cleaned or made sure it wasn't before you murdered her.
That's a great point. That's a great point. I don't know why that didn't show up on my laptop, but I see it on my phone here. Then Greg with the good morning, sir. Good morning to you. Tim also says, I believe with newfound forensic evidence, this case should be heard again.
But they're not wanting to hear it again, right?
Yeah, as of right now, but they're still pushing the courts to intervene.
Okay. Now, it's supposed to be heard at the Supreme Court, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to say whether they can take it.
Right.
So they're going to examine it themselves and then see, okay, is this worthy of going to trial once again?
Okay. Greg says, do you see Greg's comment?
Yes.
Read that.
Greg says, lie detector tests are not reliable enough for this case.
Okay. All right. What do you think, folks? Continue to leave your comments on there. And do you think this guy, black guy, should be held off? I mean, do you
Rodney
think
Reed.
Rodney Reed is his name, out of Texas. Do you think that the death penalty or the execution date should be stopped, should be held off until at certain time that they hear that the Supreme Court will hear his case or whatever is going on there? 901-213-6020. Josh, you're mighty quiet. What's going on?
Oh no, nothing. You were talking to me. You saying some good stuff. So yeah. I'm good. I got plenty to say. I mean, like I said, it's ridiculous. And hey, it is what it is, man. I think we've about it.
GKP says as far as Texas is concerned, they have their man.
Yeah, I'm sure that is what they think. Look, see, that's what I'm saying. That is nothing but pride. Why would you think? You look at what's going on here. One, you have an inmate in prison saying he was in prison with the husband of this woman that was killed, right, who just so happened to say to him, "Hey."
I mean, but the thing about it is, Josh, why would anybody in prison to confess to a stranger?
I know. I mean, that's weird.
That he killed somebody.
It's weird,
knowing that that could that kind of stuff leaks.
Yeah, I mean exactly. But
did he say that to, throw a shadow over this whole thing, or I don't know about him confessing and telling someone in prison. Maybe these people do this, but it's stupid.
I mean, it is stupid.
I mean, if
don't
you
get me wrong.
confess in prison to somebody that you don't know, that you're a total stranger to, that you did something or you killed somebody, you're the real killer. I mean, why would he say that to a total stranger? That makes sense to me.
I agree, but the thing is, why would the prisoner lie? Why would he lie when the guy? What I'm saying is that prisoner that he supposedly told about the murder. Why would he lie to the police? Why would he even get involved if this wasn't the truth?
Well,
if I'm a prisoner in jail, I'm probably not going to sit here and make up a fact that this dude killed his wife. How would you even know he has a wife? How would you even know that there was a pending situation?
Yeah.
If you're a prisoner, you don't even know nothing about this guy's life for the most part.
Yeah.
So why would you come out and tell the police, "Hey, he killed his wife"?
Well,
then nobody wants to take it seriously.
Unless he's in prison and they're having a conversation, there's not too much to do.
Yeah.
In a jail cell, you got people there. You're there with one other person, whatever. Then you just start, and they found my wife. They want to think that I did it, and blah blah blah, and all this other kind of stuff. Maybe the other inmate want to go back and tell him, "Hey, he told me he killed his wife." I mean, he already knows he has a wife if the man tells him his wife was killed. And they think, who did it? Then this guy can come out and say, now he knows he has a wife. Okay, now he can tell a lie now, knowing that he know that the man has a wife.
Or had a wife, yeah.
But, I don't know how that would help.
But I still don't see why you would even get involved in that, if you're in prison. I mean, because then you got to go back in the cell with this guy. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't
That's
convict
what I was
him.
thinking about, yeah.
They didn't do nothing to him because it just moved on. They're not even considering him at this point.
Yeah. Read the next comments there. It says,
yes, sir. I got in here. Let's see. Tim says, hopefully the Texas Supreme Court will intervene. And that's what they're waiting on to see what happened next week, as a matter of fact. We should find out something sometime in the middle of next week.
Is that the Texas Supreme Court or Supreme Court of Washington?
I believe Texas.
Okay.
I believe. But Jed says, remember, this is Texas, home of the electric couch.
Yeah.
They execute about 3 people per week.
They rough.
They are pretty rough.
They're rough down there now. They will do that. But, and I'm not against Texas. I'm not against the death penalty. Some people are against the death penalty.
Oh, yeah, I'm not
thinking that, well, you're killing somebody. How can a preacher or a church or Christians execution? Somebody getting killed, that's taking a life. Well, they took one, which they shouldn't have done. Well, but whatever. GKP says,
that's a good point, yeah.
GKP says what?
Yes, he says, because he was still stuck in jail, and the other man was getting out.
Oh.
Now that's a thought.
Oh.
Now that's a thought.
The other man that made the statement.
Yeah, the white man that was married.
Was getting out.
Yeah, that was married to the woman that ended up killed. Yeah.
Okay, so the husband.
Mm-hmm.
He was he got out of jail.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so the person in jail went and told him, hey, look, this guy came to me while he was here and told me that he killed his wife. Okay.
Now that's a thought.
Well, that could be.
That's a thought, seriously.
Well, then that way he don't have anybody to threaten him while he's in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then Jet says to get street cred with skinheads to save himself from bandits or to rise through gang ranks.
Wow, I don't see that one. Okay.
I don't know about that. He said, I killed a niglet, I'm a gangster.
That's
so
what he said, yeah.
Yeah.
I see that. Okay. Well, I don't know. This is should all the evidence.
It's a lot of avenues, no doubt.
All the evidence that okay, the black man had sex with the girl the day before she was killed.
Mm-hmm.
His DNA is all over the girl. The guy that's married to the girl, his DNA is not there.
Yeah.
Was this guy in prison when his wife was murdered?
No.
He was not.
No, I mean, we know that for sure.
Okay.
I mean, 'cause that would have been brought up, and then he wouldn't even really. That wouldn't even make this debatable at that point, at least to me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I don't know. 901-213-6020. We got a lot of stars, actors, and people backing this other guy up. This black guy, and his name again?
Rodney Reed.
Rodney Reed. They're backing him up. Well, now, are these a lot of black actors or?
No. I mean, you got Dr. Phil. I think there's only one black. Well, let's see. I don't know. Did they say Will Smith's name? But I know Rihanna. She's black. Island descent, and a couple of white actors as well.
Yeah,
that get behind. I know Kim Kardashian is not black also, so
yeah,
it's kind of a mix, almost even down the line. But I'm just saying, man, I think, and man, this is a great point here. I just saw these two comments come in, and I'm talking about Dominic's really, but Jet says prison vendettas happen. A higher ranked skinhead probably allowed this to happen for revenge on something. I don't know. Now, Dominic said this painfully reminds me of the Troy Davis case in Georgia from 2011. I remember that very well. There was so much, if you remember, huge protests made nationwide news. The countdown to his execution. People were protesting outside in other cities trying to get them to stop the execution of Troy Davis. Because of some stuff that it came up, and they didn't stop it.
Okay, I don't remember the story. Troy Davis, I guess, is a black man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I ain't trying. I wasn't trying to go into whole details, but I'm just saying.
No. I don't know the story. That's why I asked you to give me details.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
But that's all I can remember right now was what I was just detailing. But like I said, I remember that very well, and this does remind me of that, no question.
Okay. All right, maybe Dominic can give us some more information because I really don't know anything about the story. But
I mean, and we don't, like I said, it's just a passing thought, really. We don't have to dive into it too much because
So you're trying to relate that story to this type of story?
That's it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Do you think this guy is innocent? That's in prison that they're going to execute on November 20th if the Supreme Court don't stop it or somebody don't stop it before November 20th. He's going to die, but he claimed and says that he is innocent, that he did not kill this lady. Okay, but there's evidence that they had sex the day before. Well, he said he did. Mm-hmm. And there's DNA evidence on the lady. Now, did the story also say that this guy killed her between 3 and 5 a.m.? Or
yes.
This is the guy that's in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Determined that.
Well, what they said was that she was driving home. Or driving to work. She was leaving, and that he killed her. I guess when they met somewhere. That doesn't make a lot of sense either.
Yeah.
Like, why would he do that?
Call from
James.
James, welcome to the show. Good morning on a Thursday.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good, sir. How about yourself?
What's happening, man?
Hey, look, check it.
Yes, sir.
On some real, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if they cook them niggas out there, man. You know, if you did the crime, you got to do the time. I mean, you got to pay for it. You know what I'm saying?
But he said he didn't do it, James.
No, I don't care about you've been locked up for 20 years and you want to try to get us out of it. You know, I did. No, we gonna cook you.
Man, but why you gonna cook somebody if you don't know he did it, though? I mean, he's been in there. He has been in there since 1999. That's really, that's right at 20 years.
Well, if he's, and then James, I get your point. If he's sat in prison all this time and really, I don't know if he's made a big push until now about the whole thing. then if they've not made a big push about it after all this time he's been in prison, I mean, come on. Why would you want to sit in prison and not make all of this noise about not make all the noise that you didn't kill this lady?
Well, I bet, and I don't know for sure. Mm-hmm. I can't say I know, but I bet he did. I mean, it's only so much you can do, right? If you go to court, you appeal, and then you just sit in jail. Okay, and now that usually what happens is when the execution date's really, really close. Yeah. You make another push because you feel it. You know. Well,
he should have pushed before now. I mean,
I don't know how much he has been pushing.
Yeah, but this. I mean, what I'm saying is, this should have come out as a headline way before now. Like national news.
From James.
James, we got disconnected. Welcome back to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, look. Mm-hmm. I'm a black man in America, right?
Yes,
yeah.
I understand. Believe me, I understand. But if you out here doing this, and a lot of these dudes do, we don't want to talk about these guys that be doing this stuff. They be out here doing these crimes, man. A lot of crimes they commit are against black people. So, look, you got to pay, bruh. So cook them. And I ain't trying to feel sorry for you. I ain't trying to start no GoFundMe. I don't care. Bake these boys. Bake them.
Okay, well, the thing about it, James, you have to understand, if the guy didn't do it and then they bake him.
And they all say that, Bob, they all say that.
Well, all right. If he didn't do it, and then a lot of people are pushing behind him, and Dr. Phil is there, and all these other people are there, why would you want to go ahead and push this when there's another chance that the husband or the other guy could have done something?
Yeah.
Bob, I wouldn't care if they strapped Dr. Phil up and put the cup on his head.
Oh, man.
Come on.
No, for real, man. I don't care about no Dr. Phil being there. Look, you don't do the crime. That's how we got to teach these children. Mm-hmm. Don't do it, and you don't have to worry about all this stuff on the back end.
Well,
don't go out and do. I'm going to 25 years, and then.
You know what? I agree with you, because if we're committing the crime, if this guy has done something before, and then he's associated with this girl, and then all of a sudden she ends up dead. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have to be looked at, because you had sex with her the day before. I mean, and they're not going to look at you as somebody that may have done this possibly. Come on, man.
I understand. I do understand that, but what I'm saying is, and I'm not even necessarily knocking the arrest initially.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if that's what you see, then hey. But when new stuff comes up, just like in any case, new evidence emerges, then you have to consider it to the point where maybe you have to look at, okay, do we need to try this again? It's not that we're saying, hey, just let them go. Yeah. We're saying try the case, and if your evidence is as solid as they think it is, then you're going to win again.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that difficult.
Bob is right. Look, Bob.
Yeah.
Stay on your center now. You letting them push you off your center now. Come on.
What do you mean? What do you mean center? I mean,
because Bob, you be on these bad guys. Now you know these guys. They do wrong. You do wrong.
Yeah, I'm on them, but at the same time, I want, if they're not guilty, James, I want them to be heard. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's not guilty. Come on, man. I'm just saying I'm not saying he's guilty or not guilty, but it seemed mighty suspicious to me. Okay. That you had sex with her the day before and all this went down. This is the thing where when you're involved in something like this, then boom, okay, he wasn't married to her in the first place.
It was some mess.
Did he know this was a married woman? Why would you want to do the thing that you did?
Oh, he knew.
Yeah, okay.
He kind of admitted, like he said, he was having an affair for a while.
So by having
Bob,
go ahead.
You right, Bob. Look, you right. Look. You can't be out here trying to be a player. You can't be out here trying to be a Mac and all that, and you get caught up. He got caught up.
Yeah.
So this is James.
So you got to pay. No, Bob.
This is James telling folks don't be a player. Okay, I feel you.
No, I am a player, but I know how to do it. Look, put the cup on his head, Bob. Put the sponge on there. Wet the sponge. Put the cup on his head. Cook him. I don't want to hear none of that yap.
Okay. All right. Well, most people probably don't agree with you, but at the same time,
agree with me.
At the same time, James, he was there, and then it looks mighty funny that she's dead a day after he's had sex with her and his DNA is there.
Well, I got some news. I got some news, James. That Oprah this morning urged the governor to take a pause and look at this case.
Hey, Josh, she gonna mess around and get a cup put on her head.
Oh.
Not Oprah. Look,
not Oprah.
Trust me, it's too much money involved.
She needs to stay out of it.
Well, I mean, don't you think anybody that feel that this guy is innocent, or she's not saying one way or the other here, I don't think. I think she's just saying to stay to delay the execution.
Yeah.
Which is really close.
Look. Bob, just like you, because I listen to you, Bob, I'm sick of these Negroes doing this dumb stuff, and then on the back end, they want to get lawyers, they want to whine and beg. And look, you shouldn't have done it. So we're going to put the cup on your head, we're going to cook you, and Dr. Phil, if you got a mouth, we're going to cook you next, and Oprah, we're going to put you in the box, and we're going to cook you next. Look, forget these Negroes, man. Let's talk about the Negroes who don't do this dumb stuff, who out here going to school, doing right, living the way you talk about that Christian life, living that Christian life. Forget these other, man, I'm done with these Negroes. Cook all these Negroes.
Okay.
I'm out of here.
All right, James, thanks for the call. All right. Wow.
He said cook
them all. I guess, wow. Here in Memphis, there's a lot of crime committed, especially black-on-black crime. Lots of that committed. And I guess, when you get to people like James, they get sick and tired of hearing about all of this crime black people are committing.
But
then you commit a crime. If you commit a crime and then turn around and say that you didn't, and it's kind of difficult to say that you didn't, or to, how do we know that he didn't do this? What evidence do we have that he didn't do this, and knowing that he had sex with the girl the day before? And there's DNA evidence.
Here's my thing. A couple things. One, we don't know. And honestly, we don't know that he didn't do it. But number two, I guess what I'm saying is I don't understand how they can look at him having sex with the woman as a sign, well, he must have killed her. Where does that come from?
Yeah.
But, and then look at the fact that her husband was already crazy anyway. He has a racist history.
Okay.
And, you could just imagine if he found out she was sleeping with a black man, I could see a rage happening, and I do think one of the commenters talked about his DNA not being found anywhere on his wife, the husband, is very odd as well. But now here's a quick comment here. Happened in the Troy Davis situation in Georgia several years ago, and from Dominic, and I do remember a lot of what he's talking about now. He said, long story short, Davis was accused of shooting a cop. That's what it was. 9 people testified saying that he did do it, but later 7 of those people recanted their stories, their testimonies. So they said, well, never mind. Afterwards, none of Davis's DNA was found at the scene, nor was the murder weapon ever recovered. He had people as far as Paris, France, which I remember now, protesting along with former President Jimmy Carter. Troy Davis was still executed.
Okay, did you read Jet's statement back here?
I didn't. I just saw the latest
one.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if he's innocent, he says.
Here it is.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't matter if he's innocent or not. It's really the justice system that's on trial here. There's too much reasonable doubt for a death to be carried out. If that happens, the system is a lie, and it's broken. Point blank, period.
Okay. Well, yeah, if there's a reasonable doubt,
yes,
then
That shouldn't be. Look, you shouldn't even go to jail. Look at what the legal system says, right? Reasonable doubt means you can't even convict somebody.
Yeah.
You can't even convict somebody.
Matter of fact, a defendant can actually just get off.
Yeah, exactly. Like completely exonerated.
Doubt. Yeah.
Completely exonerated if there's reasonable doubt. So all this reasonable doubt that we're talking about, this big old debate that we're having across the country, clearly shows there's reasonable doubt. So if they go ahead and execute somebody, not just convict them, but kill him, that's a bad look on the system to me.
Okay. You said there's a lot of reasonable doubt.
Absolutely.
What, such as?
Well, I mean, the fact about, like, where is the motivation for him to kill her? What was the motive?
But they found DNA. They found DNA on her.
Yeah, but that's because they had sex.
Okay.
What does the DNA mean? Like, if it was DNA of him, like, his fingerprints around her throat or something, or a murder weapon with his fingerprints on it by the scene, or, footprints wherever her body was found, something crazy like that, then maybe. But none of that was the situation.
Okay, Tim makes a statement here. You see that?
Yes, I was just about to read that. I was right after that.
Read that.
Tim says, I don't believe we can make the call on his innocence. However, it is a human life we're talking about.
Right.
In this country, life has value. If technology has brought new forensic evidence to light, it needs to be looked at and argued in court. And that's all I'm really saying also.
All right.
Don't know if he's innocent or not, but I think it's worth retrying. Greg got a comment here.
Okay, so he's been to court already, and he's been found guilty.
Yeah, but that was, 99?
Okay.
And as close to it is, if life does have value, as Tim stated, and you have this new evidence that has arisen since 1999, then you need to go to trial.
Okay. Greg says
appeals are not infinite.
Okay.
Meaning that you can't, keep appealing. Then GKP commented on James.
Yeah.
And Dominic's other couple comments here says, correction, 07 recanted, not saying he was innocent, but they recanted their testimony.
Okay.
So one has to wonder, and that was an old story, why did they recant their testimony? He said that's why this sounds so similar.
Okay.
Tim says, why is he making this an issue of race?
Oh.
It's a person who either did or didn't. I think he's talking about James.
Yeah.
A person who either did or didn't commit rape and murder. I don't think it's an issue of race.
Okay.
GKP says, sorry, Tim, but this is an issue of race, my man. Period.
Wow.
Murder weapon was never tested for DNA. That he'll say he'll return shortly.
Okay.
That's another great point.
Wow. Okay. So
great debate here.
So this is a issue of race. Some people say.
Yeah. Be debated depending on the angle you look at it. Some could say,
well, yeah, because if you don't retry the case or
you're
whatever,
gonna wonder why.
You wonder why.
And that's where race.
Why, if you have evidence that something else could be wrong here, or are they saying, okay, we've convicted you, it's going to go down like this, and you've been in prison all this time waiting death for the death penalty, and we're going to go through with it. Now, are they saying now at the last minute, everybody wants to push and get you off because it's getting close to the time to where you're going to be executed? They're probably feeling say, hey, no, we're not going to do all of this after all this time we spent with you in prison. And then now all of a sudden all of these people want to cry out to spare your life. So I don't know. Should they? I mean, to me, it's a person's life, like Tim said here. If a person is guilty, you should be guilty or innocent. And there's more evidence in the case, you should want to find the truth.
Exactly.
I don't understand that. But, I don't care about it being Texas and this is the way they do things. It doesn't matter. It's about right and wrong.
That's it.
It's about life and death. It's about making sure you got the right person.
And see, I would say the same thing if he was white. If Rodney Reed was a white man, I'd say the same thing, because if it goes, if it goes ahead like it is, I really feel like it's a travesty of justice.
Yeah.
In that case. Another comment here from Jet.
And we're gonna have to take a break,
yes.
And then our guest is coming up.
Oh yeah, we got another big topic coming up.
Another big. Oh my goodness, you don't want to go anywhere on this one. Oh
yes,
yeah. Jet, last comment on this particular topic. What did he say?
He said he's been fighting, and they've been fighting for years. It's just said that people won't push and mobilize until the so-called mainstream media says it's time, and they don't care until it can drive ratings. I first caught wind of this back in 2013 or 14 from Democracy Now!, an independent news site. I even did an entire broadcast about it, which got the least interest of any show I've ever done on the internet. How about that?
Well,
but
why
now,
though? Okay, go ahead.
He says, but now that NBC, CBS, etc. says it's a thing, then it's a thing. That's legit. But man, if you take microphone and speakers, the people will never hear you. That's why the people who care about this, like Rihanna, Oprah, and the people here, etc., should support platforms like yours, mine, and others.
Agreed.
That's a great point.
Agreed. Great point. It's just sad.
Yeah, he put sad, and he meant sad in that statement I read.
All right. Okay. All right. Thanks for your comments on that particular topic. And coming up next, Josh, we have another big topic.
Yes.
And it's about some local things going on.
Crime-related as well.
And we're going to talk about that. Man, I want to hear your opinion on this. And this is something this city has been fighting for a long time.
Yes, major stuff that's going on in this community. Yeah.
And our special guest, Apostle Ricky Floyd from the Pursuit of God Transformation Center, will be our guest. So stick around, folks. You're listening to Talk Back Live.
And Josh.
It is now 8:57, 57 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock Central Time, and a very pleasant good morning to you on a Thursday morning. We'll be back after this.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or a mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.
CJU's Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJU's Appliances has the best prices in town, sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks will tell you they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJU's Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJU's Appliances. See Graphics Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all. Color copy, resume, funeral program, rubber stamp, full color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30 plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. See Graphics Printing.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with Tennessee Highway Patrol. Pedestrian safety is a two-way street. Both drivers and walkers need to do their part to keep roads safe. When you're walking, remember, the drivers may not always see you, so remember to use these tips to continue to walk safely. Wear bright clothes, always use crosswalks, and obey signs. Lights and reflectors should be used. And finally, keep alert and do not walk distracted. This message brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
C&S Motors Auto Sales, located at 2508 Southern Avenue, here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-323-8778. C&S Motors Auto Sales has been around since 1984. Go by and see Chris today for some of the best pre-owned and used vehicles in the city. They have SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, whatever you're looking for in pre-owned used vehicles. Hey, you can find it right there at C&S Motors Auto Sales. See Chris since 1984. They will treat you right. Call them at 901-323-8778. That's 901-323-8778. 2508 Southern Avenue, C&S Motors Auto Sales.
You're listening to Talk Back Live with Bob and Josh. Talking about current events and topics that matter. Call in now. 901-213-6020. 901-213-6020. Now, here's Bob and Josh.
All right, and welcome back to the show, Talk Back Live with Bob.
And
this is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee hands-free law.
Yeah. All right, 9:02, 2 minutes past the hour of 9 o'clock Central Time. A very pleasant good morning to you on a Thursday morning, and starting your day off 55 degrees, rain on the outside. Well, we'll get to our next topic, and talking about violent crime in the city of Memphis, up 58% over last year among juveniles in our county and in our city.
You know what? When I saw that, I can't help but say, and I want to play this clip too. We get a chance, talking about this, because I was shocked, and I know Memphis violent crime is something you always hear about, right?
Right.
But to see that jump was kind of unbelievable. You talk about, they showed the past few years, and the numbers have been relatively similar since 2011.
Yeah.
Jump that much makes you wonder what in the world is happening.
Yeah. So, but we have on the phone with us now Apostle Ricky Floyd of the Pursuit of God Transformation Center. And Apostle Floyd, welcome to the show.
Glad to be in the service one more time. How you doing, gentlemen?
Yes. Good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Good, man. The wife and I were enjoying the show, riding down the highway, listening to y'all on the way to Nashville. So just glad to be on here with you guys this morning.
We're honored that you accept to come on with us. Apostle Floyd, there's things going on in the city as far as the violent crime is up 58% over last year. That's what they tell us. Among juveniles in our city. That's been a problem that's been going on for some time, but this is risen out of nowhere now. I know, and I love what you have going on there at Pursuit of God. You have the Husband Institute, mm-hmm. Which you help a lot of young men and men, I guess a little older. But this is something that's out there that's helping other people to give them a way out or alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Bob, it's I don't want to sound arrogant or self-serving, but it's a powerful program, Bob, that we are running on a shoestring budget. I thank God that as of noon yesterday, we had $40 in our budget. Mm-hmm. But God sent an institution from out of town to give us $5,000 last night. For some reason, we have not been able to persuade our community and our government in the value of a program that Monday night, Bob and Josh, we had 42 boys under the age of 17 all the way down to the age of about 5 years old, because I can't say no when I see the need so rampant in our community. You know, I said it's supposed to be from 8 to 16, and I said I wasn't going to take no more than 14 boys. But we just adopted a new complex in North Memphis, and we had a busload of boys that we brought from Memphis. And Bob, most of these boys, probably 85% of these boys, don't have a biological father in the house. And you know this yourself, that when boys don't have a father or positive father figure, and I want to just say not just father figure, but a positive father figure.
Yes, sir.
Man, every area of their life is impacted. Their education, suicide, sexual preference, rape, molestation, employment opportunities. And, man, we're simply trying to do what the Bible says, Bob, and that is be a father to the fatherless.
Yes. And, you know, we talk about the crime in the community, and the crime has jumped the way it has. You guys do it, and, you know, I will say again, Husband Institute, and I've never heard anything like that before. Until I got to Memphis. I said, what is this?
And you know what? And I got to say, I remember when we saw that DVD on the Husband Institute, which I think it was about a year or two ago when I remember seeing it. But the impact still was there with me, because I remember seeing some of those kids, man. I'm like, man, you really don't know. You know, myself being fortunate enough to have a father always in my life and everything. Man. But, you know, and then I run into people that I know and went to school with, and you know, you can't even underestimate the impact that has on people. Do you think that's what's going on with the juvenile crime jumping like this, or are there other factors? Because that's always been an issue, but what could be the reason for it to jump so high so quickly?
Well, let me say something, Josh. I want to say what you said, the value of having your father. Sometimes, you know, because you've had your daddy all your life, you know, you can kind of take that for granted. I remember my son telling me 5 years ago that, Dad, it feels awkward having a father. He said he felt awkward by having a father because the mass amount of boys and friends that were around him did not have a father in their lives.
Yes, sir.
And so I want to say that. Now, there's a lot of factors. One factor is, you know, we can legitimately blame the government. We can legitimately blame racism. But one of the things that concerns me is how impassionate or unpassionate our people are and unsupportive when they find institutions like the Husband Institute, like university, Dr. Futrell. I can't. He's got a university.
Oh, Manhood University, I think.
No, it's not Manhood. You'll get in trouble for that. Because he kind of feels like Manhood kind of swiped his name. But he has a university for boys as well.
Yes, sir.
Several programs. Dr. Maurice Johnson has a program. But here's the thing: even as in tune with the community that you guys are, most have never heard of these programs. And let me say this. I posted a video. I posted an article about a lesbian police officer killing her lover. Bob and Josh, that got 600 shares.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I posted a video about me having 42 African-American boys who are learning. We had Ricky Pete to teach them about politics. We had somebody to teach them a self-defense class. and that got 3 shares.
Wow.
See, Christians, activists, African-American people don't want to share the gospel of the good news that happened, but we'll share a murder of a lesbian. We'll share that 600 times, but won't share an institution that is helping our boys that no one won't help. We won't share that. We won't share that information. Yeah. And so even this, the 58%, and we need to address that. That needs to be shared. But you hadn't heard anybody talk about the teen pregnancy down in Fraser. You hadn't heard about the infant mortality. And I say this, and some people may think I'm brown-nosing y'all, but I say this every time that I come on your show. This is one of many reasons that it's important for Christians who are connected with the inner city community to have a media outlet so that the gospel can be spread. Because if it's not, then now, if people just see that 58% and don't see these boys who are learning vision, who are going to college, who are beginning to excel in media, then the only perception that they will have of African-American boys is they're going to rob me, so hold my purse, don't let my daughter date them because they're murderers, robbers, and rapists. So, again, I want to applaud you all for getting the good news out there. But I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to answer your question because I can't be a micro.
Well, Apostle Floyd, this is one of the when I saw this story, and when I listened to this story, this is why I immediately thought about you and the Husband Institute. I said when things like this are going wrong, and they share this kind of stuff, and then it brings a dark shadow back over the community. And then I said, well, okay, I'll talk about this, but at the same time, let's bring a light side in here. Honestly, and what you're doing as well. There's things going on out there, and it's not just the negative things that people want to talk about, what they want to hear. Is the only thing going on. But people need to know exactly what's going on and what's available to them out there. So, yeah.
Now, Bob, can I ask you a question about the article? Because a lot of times I do not read articles like that. I'll take the capture and use it to. So did the article say that it was up in 2018 or it's up 58%? And remember which one of those it's been?
2019.
So it says it's up in 2019.
Yes, sir. And
we're going to play the
audio here.
The audio is just a minute. Yes, sir.
I just read a little bit before
I would love to listen to that. Now, one thing that I want to say too is, again, and I've tried to get the media out to talk about this. We had a 24-hour prayer on September the 20th and 30th.
Yes, I heard about that, and I saw some of it, and it was too late. I said, wow, what is going on out there?
Yeah.
That was a powerful thing that you guys had going on in the community. Yeah,
man, we had 45 pastors to show up for that. We had people to show up from 5 different states, and we had a total of 250 people to come through there.
Wow!
And we have not had a murder. I think we had our first death Monday night, and that was somebody ran into a UPS truck. But as far as a murder, a killing, and that we have not had one since that 24-hour prayer. And Colonel Sanders just retired, but the last time that I talked to him, crime was down 15% in the community of Fraser since we had that prayer. No murders and crime down 15%.
Well,
and so I think, and Bob, I know you all will really appreciate it. I think what God is doing in this season, and we're really going to see it in 2020, is God is beginning to let the light shine on the power and the importance of the church and the power of prayer and the unity of the believers. And I think even with this election that's coming up, because basically what it's boiled down to is you got corporate America, corporate Memphis, who has some candidates that they're trying to support, and the local church that has some candidates that they're kind of promoting. And that's why I'm telling people you got to get out and vote, because, again, we have the opportunity to prove the value of the church.
Mm-hmm. All right, Apostle Floyd, I was, okay, I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, no.
But go ahead. Josh was pointing his finger at something. What was it?
Well, the video.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. I got it.
Well, let's take a listen to the video, and, then other people can listen to it as well. Now, if you don't mind, if people call in, if they happen to call in and want to ask you a question or something, how you feel about this, or the Husband Institute, you be all right with that?
I'm here to serve you, Bob.
Okay. All right. Well, first, let's take a listen to the story, and we'll be back after this.
All right. Share it on your phone. Yeah.
Newly released numbers from the Shelby County Crime Commission show violent crimes by juveniles are up in Shelby County, and they're up drastically. Between January and September of this year, 671 violent crimes were committed by juveniles. That's up 58% from last year. Compare that to just 457 crimes in 2017 and 365 in 2016.
We're not just talking juvenile crime. We're not talking stealing candy bars. We're talking murder, rape, robbery, kidnapping, the worst of the worst.
The experts we talked to attribute numerous factors to this sudden increase, like children growing up in unstable households and missing large chunks of school.
We all know that if kids are in school, good things are happening, right? They're learning, plus they're less likely to be out causing trouble.
But a more dangerous variable is gang activity. Many groups are getting children into gangs at a young age, while other kids create mock gangs, trying to gang culture.
If it is two or more of you acting together and terrorizing members of this community, we're going to prosecute you as if you were a gang.
Law enforcement wants children and their families to know if someone under the age of 18 commits a serious or violent offense, the consequences are severe and the future is bleak.
You either end up in prison or you end up dead. And neither of those options are any that this office wants to see.
Reporting in downtown Memphis, Peter Fleischer, WREG News.
All right, there you have that particular story. And also joining us, Apostle Ricky Floyd, the pastor of the Pursuit of God Transformation Center. And again, welcome back to the show. Is Apostle Ricky Floyd there?
I had hit mute. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't hear because my wife's phone froze up on us while we're driving, and I couldn't hear the volume on it too much. So, but if you just emphasize a bunch of, I want to say something to Jet Lucas, your fellow radio guy. Jet Lucas said something that I believe is true. That how initially social media had become a platform that we could get our voice out and get our stories out. And I think the algorithm, I want to say that too. I want to acknowledge what Jess Lucas is saying, that the way they got this algorithm set up, that if there's something positive that will give a voice, a valuable voice to the community, that they somehow minimize how they can see stuff, And I said, I've got some important friends that I never see their stuff. And then it's almost like when somebody's throwing a negative shot at you, a slick subliminal negative shot, they stuff is the first person that pops up on your page. So I want to agree with Jet Lucas, who commented on your about that algorithm is trying to get us out of rhythm of causing transformation in our community.
Okay. Yeah, it's crazy, man. And now, just to give you a little bit what the story down, was the fact of major delinquent juvenile charges in Memphis and Shelby County from January through September is at 671. Compared to last year was at 423. And
the other thing they said that the district attorney was saying is that this is not like stealing candy bars or a little petty crime. This is murder, rape, robbery, theft, and gangs affiliation and things like that. And this is the the big stuff.
What do you think? Because that like I say, that stuff happens, but To see a jump like that, I almost wonder. You wonder about the numbers, or is something really crazy going on in the city we don't know about, or what? What do you think?
Well, several things. It's several things. A lot of times, the fear. I know this is going to be not popular with my police friend and my relationship with the district attorney, but a lot of times you have to wonder if those numbers are padded and suppressed at particular times for grants. To create an atmosphere of fear. I remember when Strickland was running for mayor, and all of the media was coming to me, and the story that they kept trying to get me to say, they kept trying to prompt me to let this come out of my mouth, that I was afraid of living or pastoring in Frayser. And that's a lie. I'm not. And so if I had let that out of my mouth, that I'm afraid and crime is rampant in Frayser. Yes, there's crime in Frayser, but our church hasn't been impacted by it, and few of our members hadn't been impacted by it. So I'm not going to let the fear from some reported incidents from somebody else make me confess that I'm afraid, so that we'll get the numbers up to where we can justify spending more money on police or arresting more people quickly, or the police being more firm. So we have to. So that's one thing that concerns me. Another thing that concerns me is the reason those numbers could be so high goes back to what I originally said. The presence of gangs many times is because the absence of fathers. Let me say that one more time. The presence of gangs many times is because the absence of strong fathers who are casting vision, who are giving prophetic revelation, quality time, who's affirming their son. And here's what gangs do. Gang is a cheap substitute for a needed, valuable entity that we need. Because here's what gangs do. What did I say fathers weren't doing? They want affirming. What do gangs do? They affirm.
Right.
What do gangs do? Fathers are not providing. Guess what? Gangs are providing. If fathers are not protecting, what are gangs doing? Gangs are providing. If fathers are not touching and hugging, what do gangs do? Show me love, dog. Show me love. So listen, people, and I tell, in our marriage teaching, I tell our women, men are so hungry for touch and affirmation that they will pay a liar to do it for them. What do you think why do you think strip clubs still exist?
Right.
Strippers don't love you. Strippers don't want you.
Right.
Strippers want your money.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
so men will pay the strippers to get what they should be getting at home.
Absolutely. That's
and
a good
that's
point.
what's happening with gangs. Now, and listen, if the gang give you affection, protection, direction, and correction, gangs are disciplining you, then I have a right to place a demand on your life to keep the family, if you will,
together.
Strong.
Yeah.
Strong, yep.
And Apostle,
together, I like that.
Yeah. We're speaking with Apostle Ricky Floyd, Pursuit of God Transformation Center, about the Husband Institute. And also you brought up a few moments ago about the 24-hour prayer that you guys had. And like I said, that was a powerful thing when I found out. Look, and talking about curbing or eliminating bad situations or crime or sin and that type of thing. And the scripture tells us, if my people which are called by my name will humble themselves. He's talking about God's people. And will humble themselves and pray. Talk to God. Seek my
Bob,
face.
Listen, humility is going to a park in Frayser where you ain't get no check.
Yeah.
Where you not get to preach.
Right.
Where you going in the hood. Ain't no cameras gonna be there.
Yeah.
And you're coming and unifying and dropping your title for the sake of the Lord having a people that are praising him and that he can have it. So that was humble, man.
Yes, indeed.
For everybody that showed up. That was humility.
Seek my face, turn from their wicked ways.
Yeah.
Turn from their wicked ways. Then he said, will I hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sins. And then he said what? I'll heal the land.
Woo! My God, I just got chills off of that, Bob.
Oh, my God. That's what we need. That's what we're looking for. Problems and things that are going on. The crime, the murders, the stealing, the robbers. Among teenagers, among adults, everybody. Black on black crime. What do we need to do? The answer is there.
Yes.
He said, I'll heal.
Bob,
yes.
Yes. So the healing is based on the humbleness of the holy people.
Yes.
It ain't got nothing to do with the sinners.
It ain't, no.
If the holy people will humble themselves, I'll heal the land. Let me give you one more, Bob, but I hope I don't get in trouble because we can turn it into a service.
No. You're all right here. You're all right here.
Bob, the Lord told me one time, he said, God didn't destroy Sodom and Gomorrah because of the homosexuals.
Man.
He did Sodom and Gomorrah because he didn't have enough holy people who would stand up.
Wow.
He couldn't find 10 holy people.
Yes.
If he'd have just found 10 holy people, he would not have destroyed the land.
Have destroyed it.
Wow.
That's right.
So we placing too much emphasis on the heathens.
Yes.
If the holy people get in their position, watch this, if they unite, if they get on one accord, one mind, one faith, one baptism, and it don't take a lot, in that case, 10 could have saved the whole city, Bob.
Yeah. And you know, Apostle, even if we don't agree on even if we don't agree on who name we're going down in. But prayer, talking to God, talking to God will eliminate all of this because God is in control when we talk to him. But we don't talk to him. That's just like if a son don't talk to a father and expect what he desires of him or what he requires him to do. How is he?
Talk and listen. Talk and listen. Yes. That's what And listen, Bob, sometime God is going to talk to me through Bishop Bob.
Yeah.
There it is.
And vice versa.
I ain't here. I hadn't heard anything from God lately. When last time you talked to Bishop Bob? my word for you is coming through him. And that's why we got to honor and celebrate and respect each other.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. And like you said, Bob, and not get caught up. There's some things doctrinally that we may disagree on, but what's the common goal? What can we agree upon?
We can talk to
Let's
God.
work together on what we can agree upon. Yeah.
And, see, I was going to ask y'all this question because I know you talked about all the pastors that came together to pray. I'm just thinking, wow, first of all, in Memphis, we can get that many to come together and not have a problem. Do you think that is starting to change? Because I know we talked about in the past about Memphis pastors and, the constant struggle of unity.
Man, I'm going to tell you, when I saw that blessed me.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, I said, man, what a wonderful thing. Yes.
Yeah. It definitely is. And I think, Josh, one of the reasons that happened is because pastors are understanding that God is not blessing solo artists in this season. But God ain't playing with the Bobby Brown and the Eddie Kane and the David Russell in this season. He says, Lord, teach us how to pray. He said, the first word in God teaching us how to pray requires and demands unity. God is saying it that one way, our Father. He said, don't come to me by yourself. Don't come to me just about you.
Wow.
I need you to find you an agreement partner and come in unity. And then that's when I hear, if two would touch and agree.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And we're talking with Apostle Ricky Floyd, Pursuit of God Transformation Center, and talking about the crime. And we're talking about what he's doing there with the Husband Institute and how many people's lives have been changed and are continuing to be changed. And Apostle, people Well, we want people to get involved and to help to support an institution like what you have, and people to give and to continue to see something like this grow. And this can change lives of people.
Somebody, Amy and Jim, about this whole thing, and I'm sure you would think they know about it by now, that type of thing.
Yeah.
You get behind something like that with all these problems, people want solutions, but then you don't get behind nobody trying to fix it. It's crazy.
And we've got a comment here. It says, Terry says, crime is bad and we got to punish the people that do the crime. Don't give me no lip or lipstick about letting them go.
Terry, look, we can't even read.
Terry, I agree. I agree that punishment is in order. But let me ask you something, Terry. When we punish them and they get out of jail, and we've punished them and we have not caused them or given them an opportunity to repent. Now, I'm not saying say I'm sorry. I'm talking about repent. That means change your mind, change your mouth, change your emotions, change your motives, change your lifestyle. So, yes, you need to get this whooping, and sometimes the whooping is the only thing that's going to make, or jail time is the only thing that's going to make people repent. Mm-hmm. But the punishment alone is not the answer. Whipping without instructions is abuse.
Oh, you need to say that again.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and putting somebody in jail without training and teaching them and rehabilitating. I heard a judge say something, gentlemen, that I said, did he just say that? Pastor Caswell had a meeting about 4 years ago, and the guy who was over the juvenile court system says, we are not in the rehabilitation business anymore.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
Wow. Wait a minute. We're paying y'all, and y'all are out of the rehabilitation center? So watch this. They are profiting off of our boys going to jail. Wow. Let me say this again about Memphis. One of the number one things that they say determine jail is two things: suspensions and third grade reading level. Mm-hmm. Now, since we want to deal there, Memphis is number one in suspensions in the United States of America, of African American boys, and we've got one of the worst school systems in the United States of America. And then when you factor in, there are some neighborhoods in Memphis where 85% of the boys are being born without their father in the house. And then all we want to do is we really created a system that guarantees. Oh yeah, let me say this one. Let me add this one too. And Tennessee was the first state to have a privatization of prison. And with that, if the prison is not at 95% filled, the government has to pay the prison $2 million if they're not at 95% filled. Now, when you factor those four things that I just said,
right?
Absence of father, poor reading, suspension rate, and a prison. If you don't fill us up, you got to pay us $2 million.
Wow.
What does all that lead to?
Yep, leads to jail at some point. This news article could be a justification that we finna turn up, locking up all y'all boys right now. Because of the comment, just because of the sentiment of what this lady just said now. Lock them up.
Yeah, and that's why I turned to the Husband Institution.
Right.
To give alternative. Yes, they're saying this, but there are other things out there available. What about that people don't talk about,
Because, Bob, let me ask you this. When you lock up a 16-year-old, and I'm glad. Oh, thank that lady for saying this, because out in Somerville, Tennessee, we had 120 boys out there from age 14 to 19. Watch this. At 19 years old, Guess what happens to a boy that's out there at that facility, Bob? They drive him back to his neighborhood with no money, no job, possibly no high school diploma, and they drop him out.
Wow.
What's he going to do, Bob? At 19, with no family, no job, no skill, no education, where's he going to be in the next 2 years?
Go back in the same position.
End up back in prison.
Back in prison.
Yep.
And guess what's going to happen before he go back? He's going to damage us.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's going to do something to our daughters. He's going to do something to our sons. He's going to do something to our house. He's going to do something to our cars. And if you saw in the news recently, he's going to do something to some of them folks' churches.
And they know that, and they know that they're not going to do anything to the other community. See, this is all this is all keeping it in the same.
There you go, Bob.
The cycle.
Yeah. Starting up stuff again.
You see, they didn't drop him off in Germany like that, or
no, sir. No, sir.
Or Collierville, but man.
And he ain't got no driver's license, so he better not go out there even driving around. No. Let me say this. So he ends up, Bob, moving in with some lady who has a job, but is not supported by her family. So she's just happy that she got somebody to be a father to her son. And so he's staying at home, eating the child's cereal, driving the woman's car, living in the woman's Section 8 apartment, and when that girl's baby daddy say something to him, he's mad at the baby daddy, and he ends up either molesting or killing or beating that baby to death. Man, it's a cycle that we've got to break, and that's why Husband Institute is so important, and that's why, Bob, I'm getting ready to partner with some people. Because here's what's the sad thing. I went to that facility that I just talked to. They had 120 boys. And I apologize to the staff because this is what the staff told me. And we got 120 boys, 98% which are black boys, and there are no black men coming out here to talk to these boys.
Wow.
No black churches, Bob. The only churches that are coming is some white churches from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh,
wow.
And we wonder why our boys don't respect the church, don't respect us as black men. Those boys were so excited to see 5 black men walking around their campus that they were in class and they could see us through the glass. They got up and started tapping on the glass and waving at us.
Wow.
When we waved back, I tapped my fist on my heart and like sent love to them.
Yes, sir.
Man, it was like we were rocks walking through there. We were giving them the hope that maybe these black men, and we're going Thanksgiving.
It's amazing. It's like a hunger.
We're going Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying, it's like a hunger and a thirst from those kids just to see.
It's a hunger.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a hunger.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're craving. They craving a father figure, man.
Yeah.
Craving.
Let me say this, Dominic Lawson.
Yes, sir.
If you're listening, please call in and you could talk to Apostle Floyd about what you're talking about. I think it'll be more effective.
Yeah.
If you could call him while he's here. 901-213-6020. We appreciate it if you could do that. Apostle Floyd, there are okay, we had another statement here, Josh. Jet says that is the truth. Read that.
Here it is. It says sorry, there's so many up here. Okay.
Yeah.
It says that is the truth. I run little tests all the time, but I guarantee that also has a lot to do with Facebook. Now, he's going back to we were talking about Facebook earlier.
Okay.
He said Facebook is a seriously platform, and the more powerful they become, the more evident it is. People see more of your ridiculous posts, than your useful ones. Mm-hmm. People tend to like negativity too, of course, but there's a combination. And I feel like it's the same thing. Like, when you share stuff like we're talking about, you know what I mean? The likes and the clicks won't necessarily be there. But if I share, like that meme with the lady and the cat, you know what I'm saying? That's going to get a lot of, which is funny, but it's going to get a lot more hits, than anything else. So
that is torment for me because I don't like cats. Every time I see them, I'm like, ah!
I'm right there with you.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Let's see. What was that statement that Dominic made? Let me go back.
Yeah, here it is. He said, Dominic Lawson said, Apostle, if you need someone to talk about entrepreneurship with the young men, he is available. Which he's very good at that also. He's known podcast for entrepreneurship interviews. A lot of big-time executives, all sorts of companies nationwide. So
yeah, I would love if he would inbox me his information.
Yes, sir.
And then you're welcome on Monday nights, every Monday night from 6:30 to 8:30. We meet up with those boys. This week we had former Councilman Ricky P. to talk to these young guys and tell them how the political system works, the Congress, the state representative, legislation. He did all of those stuff, and it was amazing. I have a wad of cash that I reward these guys with for paying attention and participating. Mm-hmm. You got to use what you and that's what the gang members do. Gang members give them money.
Sir. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And so you take a boy that he leaves that night. Most of us will leave there with all 5 love languages being ministered. They'll leave with, we feed them so they get quality time with me, and they get words of affirmation. They get touch. They get acts of service. They get gifts. And so the average man, this is not just talking about absent father. Mm-hmm. The average father only spends 15 minutes a day talking to his son or to his child. Mm. Now, if the average man is spending 15 minutes a day, can you imagine how much of that is clean up your room, quit talking back to your mama? Have you done your? I told you.
Wow. Wow.
That's probably 90%.
So they don't. Yeah, that's probably 14 minutes too much to that child, because all they're doing is fussing.
Yeah. One person says here, he says, Andre says, pastors of these churches should come together and open a business to employ some of these young people to show them a better way.
I'm glad you said that. Husband Institute is not just doing that to the boys. We have a food truck that we're perfecting, and we're about to buy an ambulance and convert it to a game truck.
Whoa, Pastor.
Oh, wow.
Wait. Hold. Say that again.
Yeah, we have a food truck that I got a 16-year-old young man. As a matter of fact, he's the grandson of Chisholm Trail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We had a meeting with him about 3 weeks ago. He's going to run the food truck. And I got another young man. I'm kind of interviewing 2 other young men that's going to run a game truck. So let's say, Bob, if you have an outreach program or you have an event, you pull up, and then we're also buying a few of those Spider-Man costumes and Superman costumes, that if you have an event, a birthday party, a festival, we can pull up and have turkey legs, hot dogs, and nachos, cotton candy, snow cones. We can have a game truck where the people can come in and play video games. We'll clean up everything. We'll feed everybody. All you got to do, and we'll even put on our website that where we're going to be at. And that way we're training these young men how to be entrepreneurs, how to be businessmen. So this 16-year-old, by the time he gets to college, he'll have on his resume that he's been the manager of a successful business for 3 years. He's ordered stock. He's hired people. He's fired people. And Dr. Futrell is doing the same thing. His children have stock in one of the most. They're not just employees; they are stockholders in a restaurant that he got called Pre-Flight, which is at the airport. And they're chefs, they order, they're servers, they're waiters, and because they're part owners, they serve with excellence. They ain't just getting a check. They got stock in the company. And so there are some institutions like our two institutions that are doing that. And I think what happens is once we become more successful at it, it will become easier for us to persuade other people to do it and partner with us in doing it.
Major. Andre answered a question. He says, but where does the church come in at in all this? But I think there's, let me see. There's a couple. Let me
answer that.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. But there's comments before that. Terry says, I know
Terry said a lot of stuff.
Steal and kill, black men, go to prison. That's blacks. But then he says, the other guy asked the question, where did the church come in all of this? Okay.
Well, let me tell you where the church comes in on this. Yeah. The Husband Institute is 6 years old. Out of the 6 years, the majority are only 6, and we meet every Monday night. We take boys to Grizzlies games, football games, out-of-town trips, movies. The government has not done this. All of this money has come from, and I'm an inner city church now. You got to keep in mind, there's the average income of a single mother in Fraser is $11,500 a year.
Wow,
that's the average income of a single mother in Fraser. And so we ain't been getting no grants, no government assistance. The church comes in, that the church, and I have been financing that out of my pocket personally, and the church, and every now and then some people on Facebook will be moved with compassion and give a donation for it. So out of that 6 years, City Council 1 year gave us some scraps that they had left over of about $5,000. Now, this program, one summer, we had 95 children in it. This Monday night, we had 42 boys that we feed we buy all of them T-shirts. We used to ask the parents for a $25 registration fee. We don't ask them for nothing now.
Wow.
When we go to game, we ask them if they can. Money with them. Most of the time, they don't, but every popcorn, drinks, and candy. So where the church comes in is this is totally financed by the church. Yeah.
Wow. That's a good thing. Apostle Floyd, the few minutes that we have left, and I appreciate you joining us today. We only have a few minutes left. Quickly, talk to us, and this is the opportunity we're going to give you to open up and let the people know about the Husband Institute, how they can contact you, what is, briefly again, what is about for those that are on that weren't on before. What is this all about, and how can they contact you for this?
The Bible says, how can you destroy a house? It says you got to bound up, a tie up a strong man.
Yeah.
And in reality, by the time the man, listen, what the enemy does is he's getting the strong men before they become men. Many of our boys are being molested, are being activated into gangs, drugs, sexual perversion, before they even reach the age of 12. And so what we've done is we believe that preventive medicine is the best form of medicine. Preventive medicine is the best form of medicine. So here's what we're doing. We're trying to teach these boys before they get wounded. And we're trying to catch them before they get bitter at their community and bitter at man, and show them the love. Bob, here's the interesting thing. 90% of the men that are really helping out and committed to these boys, we did not have our biological father in our life. And some of these men, Bob, were not good fathers to their sons. So it's like God is giving us an opportunity to be what we needed and to do what we didn't do to our own children. It's like, God has given us an opportunity to make up for what we messed up.
Wow.
And so it's turned out to not just be good for the boys, but it's turned out we had 8 men there tonight. Bob, here's the interesting thing. We talk about racism and white people and all that stuff.
Yeah.
4 of the 8 men that were there were white men. 4 of the 8 men that were there were white men. That's why you ain't going to hear me slap white people and say all white people is devil. Because 4, one of the white men was there 30 minutes before everybody else got there and serving, not trying to be boss over everything. And we had 1 white boy in the program. They weren't there because it was a white. They were there because they understand that it's an opportunity for us to serve young men, to save young men, and to allow young men to see men giving back compassionately to their community. Here's what I'm going to do. I want you to go to my page after I get off the phone. I want to show you the video of last Monday night.
Okay.
So before I ask you for any money, here's what I want you to do. I simply want you to share that video.
Okay.
I want you to watch that video, and I want you to share that video, and then this is just me capturing what happened that Monday night, and people need to see that there is something going on positive in our community.
Apostle, let me ask you this: how long is the video?
The video is about 6 minutes long.
Okay, Josh, is there a way that you can pull that up, and while you're talking or before we go, we can extend our time if we need be. You can go ahead and leave if you like, Bishop. But
here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to go on there right now and put it on my page so it'll be up top, so Josh don't have to do too much work to find it.
Okay.
Let me do that. Give me a sec. I'm pulling that up as we speak. Thank God for modern technology.
Yes.
Left turn ahead onto 4th Avenue North.
Excuse the GPS. We lost trying to get to a meeting in Nashville. Matter of fact, my wife and I in Nashville right now because we're trying to get some training on the opioid epidemic and how to do housing program for people who are coming out of addictions and stuff. We're headed to that right now.
Great.
Okay, I just posted the video.
Okay, cool.
On Ricky Floyd's page.
Okay, and Josh is going there now, and we're gonna see if we can pull it up before we leave the air today. And
if not, because it probably won't, but I know what I can do is put it on our.
I just
Facebook
tagged Bob. I just tagged Bob in it. So
okay, cool. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I see it.
That'll help you out.
Okay.
Okay, I just tagged you in it too, Josh.
Yes, sir. Got it.
In about a quarter of a mile, right turn, southwest.
There it is. Okay.
In 1/10 of a mile, left turn.
Just the first 15 seconds of it ought to be encouraging to somebody.
Yes, I'm looking at them walking down the hallway here, and they're all making that left turn in there where they're supposed to go. Like it's an ordered system. Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting ready to go into the sanctuary, and I got a 3rd degree Taekwondo black belt who's going to teach them self-defense class. So the confidence that comes from that to those young boys, that we're teaching them not how to fight, but how to defend themselves and how to discipline themselves and control themselves. So a lot of push-ups, a lot of sit-ups, a lot of yes, sir, no, sir, left face. So discipline matters that we got going on there.
Apostle, that was a lot of young men there. Wow. But we see them in there in the class. They're participating and raising their hands and all that other kind of stuff. And this is what we're talking about: getting young men off the streets, getting them into a place to where they can learn something else and learn the right things to do in life. And then this is wonderful. Josh, is there a way you can pull that up and and show it while we're here?
I can't.
Okay.
I can't put it in the system. But what I am going to do is put it on our Facebook page.
Okay.
After the show.
Okay.
And
so if anybody's watching it right now, I just need you to share that. We need to make people aware that there are some good things that we're compassionate about our boys, that we have opportunities to. Any men are welcome to come out. Now, let me tell you something. You ain't going to get no one-on-one time with boys because we don't know you like that. We're going to have to research you because if you come out there and mess with one of them boys, I'm going to catch a charge. We don't play that.
Yes, sir.
We do not play that. They're not going to come in our environment. But if you can come in. Sometimes, Bob, you would be amazed at how those boys, even in this video technology age, they will stay in line 5 deep just to play checkers with a grown man.
Wow.
And I have no mercy. I beat the brakes off of them every time. But they'll go to the end of the line and get back in line again because think of them. How many have had that undivided attention of a man?
Yeah. And getting back in line to want to do it again and again and again.
Yeah.
And to do that is amazing. Apostle Ricky Floyd, a phone number that people may have, young men, well, we didn't know about this. How can they contact you, or how do they get involved?
You can probably the quickest way to inbox me on Facebook, but also you can call the church 901-353-5772, and there is a website, husbandinstitute.com, and also what Bob and Josh were talking about, if you really want to see the heart of it, there is a documented movie on YouTube called Husband Institute Father Figures. Husband Institute Father Figures. There's a whole documented movie. You get to see the first year of it was documented. We initially started off as a summer program, but between summers, I realized that I was losing too many boys. And so we started doing it on a weekly basis. Every Monday we meet.
That's wonderful. All right. Apostle Ricky Floyd, last comments. Anything else you'd like to say?
Thank God for the business, for the ministry that you gentlemen are doing. It is so needed, and I'm grateful. And like I say all the time, glad to be in the service. One more time.
All right, Apostle Ricky Floyd, pastor of the Pursuit of God Transformation Center in the Fraser community. Hey, as always, we appreciate you joining us today on the show. And the information is very valuable. Thank you.
Bless you.
All right. All right. There it is, Josh. And speaking of the crime that's going on, there's another alternative. There are good things going on as well, instead of people just speaking of the negative things and the bad things and always talking about that and, looking at the black community or the young black men. There are good things going on with young black men, and they're starting at the Husband Institute at the Pursuit of God Transformation Center. All right, you got our website, and we'll make some things available as well. And I've shared this video twice already. And but hey, we appreciate the Apostle Floyd joining us. And Josh, that's going to do it for us today. And it's been a wonderful show. And folks, thanks for joining us. Your comments coming in, questions on other topics and things we talked about earlier in the show. We really appreciate you guys. And Josh, you probably will be on this afternoon. 2 to 3?
Yes.
Talkback Live Sports?
Yes, probably. I'll give an update a little bit later. But definitely, y'all stay tuned for that. Because if I do come on, we do got some stuff to get into. So y'all stay tuned for that. Also, a comment just came in here. Greg says, good stuff. And Jet says, that's true. And sometimes the government will send you a good brother with the exact resource you need to do just that. Bring your program down to the ground. Good research, everybody.
Yes.
So, man, appreciate everybody. Everybody asked a lot of great questions.
Yes.
As well. to the issue. And that's what we're all about, man. Getting to the nitty gritty.
Yes.
And problems and solutions.
All right. Hey, that's going to do it for us today. And Josh is on this afternoon, 2 to 3. And also, stay tuned. Coming up in the near future, Talkback Network is what we're calling now. We have our own network, our own station. We're building other programming that's going to be on during the day. We'll be able to enjoy along with Bible programming, teachings, and question and answer program, and interviewing people throughout the community and across the nation, and as well. So all of that is some other things that are coming up. So don't go anywhere right here, and when those things become available, Talkback Live Network, you'll be able to see all of that happening as well. All right. Have a wonderful day today, and have a wonderful weekend. If you don't hear from me anymore, we'll see you Monday, unless something comes up over the weekend and we need to come on and share it with you. Other than that, we'll talk to you next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or a device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.
CJ Used Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances have the best prices in town. Sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'm telling you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882, CJ Used Appliances. C-Graphics Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all. Color copies, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamps, full-color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30-plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. C-Graphics Printing.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Pedestrian safety is a two-way street. Both drivers and walkers need to do their part to keep roads safe. When you're walking, remember, the drivers may not always see you, so remember to use these tips to continue to walk safely. Wear bright clothes. Always use crosswalks and obey signs. Lights and reflectors should be used. And finally, keep alert and do not walk distracted. This message brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
C&S Motors Auto Sales, located at 2508 Summer Avenue, here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-323-8778. C&S Motors Auto Sales has been around since 1984. Go by and see Chris today for some of the best pre-owned and used vehicles in the city. They have SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, whatever you're looking for in pre-owned used vehicles. Hey, you can find it right there at C&S Motors Auto Sales. See Chris since 1984. They will treat you right. Call them at 901-323-8778. That's 901-323-8778, 2508 Summer Avenue, C&S Motors Auto Sales.